Hello, everyone. My name is Leah Mushet. I'm a reporter here at the Western Standard, and today my guest is Hamison Benz Knight. She is a manager of strategic relationships and partnerships at Edmonton Food Bank. And today she's going to join me since it's the end of the year. I thought it'd be a good time to just go over because the Canadian Food Bank has recently announced that in March 2025, there's been a rise in people using food banks across Canada. So I'm going to ask Hamilton if the Edmonton Food Bank has also experienced the same thing. So welcome, Hamilton. Thanks for joining us. Really
Thank you
appreciate it.
so much for having me. This is an awesome opportunity for me to share about Edmonton's Food Bank.
Oh, that's great. Okay, yeah. So I guess my first question would be, has Edmonton been experiencing the same rise in 2025?
Unfortunately, we've been seeing a steady increase since 2020. So between 2020 and 2025, our increase has gone up about 106% through the one program, our hamper programs. So right now, we're currently feeding more than 43,000 people monthly a food hamper. And that doesn't include the meals and snack programs that we're supplying to those soup kitchens and shelters throughout Edmonton. So it has been an ongoing challenge for us with this unprecedented need, and for us to even rejig some of our systems to make sure that we can keep up with demand.
Okay, yeah. Well, in that case as well, what do you think is driving the rise in people having to use food banks? Do you think it's like inflation, unemployment, or like multiple factors?
It is definitely multiple factors. The cost of living has increased. There is a lack of jobs, especially youth unemployment is huge at this time. And of course, there are always challenges in a person's household. There can be unexpected expenses that creates those challenges. For example, we had a woman in her 80s reach out to us. She unfortunately needs oxygen. So one of those portable tanks only lasts 3 to 4 hours. She relies on DATs to take her anywhere. And of course, she could not get around to access her food support. And one of the shocking things is that she hadn't needed our services for 27 years. So right now, with the increase of affordability for a household or an individual, she has not been able to make ends meet. And so she's had to reach out to us. We have identified her as a seriously vulnerable individual. And so we have made arrangements for some home deliveries for her until she's able to rearrange some of her finances. So it is a challenging time for individuals, from seniors to individuals, because we're seeing a lot more people sharing accommodations to try to make it through the month, as well as household and families out there. So it is definitely impacting everyone. A lot of working individuals are coming to see us as well.
Hmm. Well, in that case as well, I would like to know, because I think I talked to Red Deer and they told me that lots of their food bank people who come regularly are elderly people. So would you say that's one of the highest, like demographic wise, of people coming to your food bank?
I wouldn't say it's the highest. I believe the highest are the single households, as well as those individuals that are actually working, whether it's part-time or even full-time. But unfortunately, the cost of living versus the pay is so disproportionate that they can't make it work. So no matter what, we are seeing a lot of individuals and families coming to see us. So unfortunately, I can't pinpoint a specific target group other than it's just hitting everyone, unfortunately, at this time. So we're very fortunate that we have a lot of community support because, of course, we don't receive government funding from any level of government for our programs, core functions, and services here in Edmonton. And we do rely 100% on the community to allow us to keep our doors open.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so also on your website, it says that 37% of those using the food bank resources are going to children. So, would that mean, like you said, family, single households? Do you mean like one parent households? Like, yeah.
It's a combination of single parents, double parent households,
Mm.
as well as anybody, for example, our children numbers are anyone under 18. So it could be a young person living on their own between 17 and 18 that are needing our help as well. And that's where we've seen that shared accommodation. People are trying to stretch their dollars by sharing accommodations because that is unfortunately where majority of our clients allocate funds. So right now, our clients have told us that over 50% of their income is going towards keeping a roof over their head. And that is extremely important, especially here in Canada, and here in Edmonton and Alberta, right? We have to make sure that we have those accommodations. So what happens when rents go up, your money's not going as far as you want it to, the first area that's cut back is your food budget, because that's considered discretionary when you need to keep that roof over your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know there's been a recent report that prices are even going to go up even more in 2026 for groceries and stuff. So yeah, that sounds very difficult. And I guess my next question would be, I know you said it's hard to pinpoint because you might not exactly have the numbers, but also I'm wondering if you could tell me if there is also a lot of the usage for students, because obviously they're having to pay tuition, cost of living. Do you think those numbers are large as well for those people?
I don't think we gather that kind of data from the individuals that we see. We do know that our local institutions, like the campus food banks, we will support as they need it. So some students will be going directly to the campus food banks. Others are still living at home, so it would be captured under those households. So we don't necessarily target exactly students. But when you think about it, anyone under 18 or 17 are still in school. So those would be that, and that's close to 37%. So that's a lot of young people in that bracket that are needing our support. So I can tell you that that's a huge number, but we don't necessarily track the university area of students.
Okay. I also wanted to talk to you. Do you guys do emergency hampers? Because I didn't see it on your website, but I could have been missing that somewhere. Do you guys do that?
Actually, we used to call all of our hampers emergency hampers. But because of the changes, the demographics, the needs here, and how much that need is, we're not a temporary solution any longer. We're needed all the time for some of these households. So that's why we kind of remove that emergency side of things for our hamper programs, because people are needing us regularly to help bridge that gap monthly, some individuals. Our average is only about 5 times a year, 5 or 6, but there are some people that are really struggling. And that's where we're like, it's not emergency. It's just keeping them going at this time. We do have kind of homeless packages, like a homeless bag that would be handed out to an individual coming straight to us. We do have some like bags with some key essentials if somebody walks in like right after 4:30 and we can't do a full hamper and we need them to come back. So we do have those packages available. I guess you could call those an emergency bag, but realistically our emergency hampers, they're just called our hampers at this point. And that those are key staples, as well as fresh packaged, as well as frozen items in it that will help a household or an individual. And we're talking each a box about 15 kilos, so over 30 pounds of food each box that goes out.
Okay. So in that case, I was talking to the Calgary Food Bank, and they do like a certain, it's like a pilot they said they introduced, I think, I don't know if it was a few months ago or like a year ago, but they're talking about how people need to like sign like registration to get the food bank's resources. Say, I don't know if it's weekly or monthly, but do you guys do something similar, or is it, yeah, because you said you have like the packages for people who are just coming in and they want something like right away. But also the daily, or not daily, monthly, no, weekly, right? I think it's weekly. But yeah, do you do that?
Yes. So we have a custom program, a database. So everyone that's come into us, we do an intake, and everyone in the household needs to have some kind of ID. We don't do a full needs assessment because it would be physically impossible to do a needs assessment with over 43,000 individuals monthly. So it's one of those balancing acts that we would rather err on providing food than not providing food here in Edmonton, because everyone's situation is different, and we have to take a look at it. So even a T4 from a previous year will not tell you what the current situation is in that household. So
Mhm.
we do want to make sure that we support individuals. And 2 years ago, we opened our pantry. So again, pantries are unique where people can do their own shopping at it. But again, pantry cannot do the volumes that a hamper program where those packaged goods come in and we make the hampers and send them back out. So the pantry program is actually reserved for those individuals that we want to slow down those conversations. So we would have somebody that's needing us every other week for multiple months. Okay, let's bring them in, have a conversation. So we slow down that engagement, and then we're able to find out more about that household. So if we need to redirect them to other programs that could support them, whether it's housing, mental health, we have a program called Beyond Food that helps with job readiness. Because realistically, food insecurity is a symptom of poverty. And we need to address poverty. But how do we do that? Getting people the skills and tools to help them find gainful employment will help reduce the numbers coming to Edmonton's food bank.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so this is another demographic question, unfortunately. So if you don't have those numbers, that's all right, but I thought I might as well ask. So I did ask you, oh yeah, okay. So apparently the Calgary Food Bank told me that they did support lots of refugees coming from Ukraine, because like the government wasn't helping them with groceries and stuff like money wise. So have you guys done anything like that for people just coming into the country who are needing like food bank resources?
Of course, we've seen a lot of new Canadians, those refugees that have come in. Many of them actually participate in our Beyond Food program, where there's actually ELL programs and like English as a second language and that kind of thing. And it's not necessarily just with us. We work with other organizations like PALS, which is Project Adult Literacy, and they help with that. So we're trying to help move them to a different point for them to access gainful employment. So I recognize that sometimes it's not the easiest thing, though the individuals are here now. So let's make sure that they have the tools, and with it, which also includes food, to make sure that they can contribute back as wonderful, new Canadians with us to help us. And even for us, we've received some of our staff are actually Ukrainian individuals that have come over. One gentleman who drives our truck, he has a lot of experience. I think back in the Ukraine, he flew jets. So it's, and of course, he could not participate in the war. So it's a whole bunch of dynamics that are happening right now. But again, the whole point is for us to feed people. Politics aside, we're here to support anyone that's here. So that's how we function here in Edmonton.
Okay, that makes sense. I also maybe want to know about them, like the people who just came here, say they even have a job, but like it's not paying that much. So so you're helping them gain employment, but what about like the ones that, is there a lot of people who have employment, but it's still not letting them afford everything they need for, a good life
A
on like
major-
family support? Yeah, sorry.
Yes, that's very, very good. There is a lot of underemployment. So they're not working full time. They can't get the full time hours. They don't have the benefits. So there's a whole bunch of those underemployed individuals. So they're trying to work full time. Minimum wage isn't covering all the bills. And so that's where we're supporting those and trying to be as helpful as we can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think my last question would be this. There is lots of like people online that say that international students sometimes abuse food bank resources. Have you guys noticed this to be the case at all?
No, I haven't. That doesn't mean that there isn't abuse out there. When you think about, if you have a table of free t-shirts and you say only take one, there will be a couple people out there that don't care about that sign and that will grab multiples. Again, that's their own karma that they have to live with down in the future. And there's also sometimes a language barrier. Some places don't even have food banks. They don't even know what that means. And so the pantry has actually allowed us to actually remove people from the food programs because they're like, oh, this is what it's for. So again, we have to have those take that moment and step back and just have those honest conversations to make sure people really understand what a food bank is about.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, in that case, thank you very much, Hamasan. That was all my questions. So thanks again for joining us. Really appreciate it. Yeah, and if you guys liked this video, you should definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Western Standard, and you can also subscribe to our actual news channel, which is WesternStandard.news, $10 a month and $100 a year. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye.